Hello everyone, my name is Cap and welcome back to the channel, another 7 Days That I video, and we are on Alpha 17. It's finally here. We finally got it after all this time. It's finally here. Now, a couple things of note real quick is that, yes, I am a part of the streamer group that's getting early access to this, and everybody else will get it probably on Monday, assuming that there's no game-breaking bugs found. And also keep in mind that this is an experimental build, so things may change. Things I show you in this video may look a little bit differently, so if you're watching this a little bit down the road and you're just like, hey, mine looks different than that, or something's not working right, just know that they could have absolutely changed something that they found was a bug or a problem, and so just do keep that in mind. Now, as the title says in this video, I am going to be doing a giveaway here, and I'll explain how to do that as we're going along here. It's going to be real simple. Going to give you guys a chance to win a copy of 7 Days to Die on Steam. All you have to do to win that basically is just leave a comment down below. It says, hey, Cap, I want to win this copy. Please let me. And what I'm going to do is a random drawing to randomly pick the name. I'll notify you probably tomorrow, this Sunday, and you are good to go. I'll email the code to you. You activate it, and you're good to go. And so we're going to go through this video, and I'm going to show you guys a bunch of things that are coming to the game and talk to them a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is when I get into the in-depth style of things, like breaking down specific vehicles and, the normal style tutorials, those are going to be their own individual videos. This is just going to be an overview. So Alpha 17 is here. We have a ton of stuff to go through in this game, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. That way you don't miss out on the videos, and we got a whole lot to show you guys. So let's just kind of get into this. Get into just a few of the things we got going on here. Like I said, we got the 4x4 here. Nice little beastly vehicle that you can use to, run over things and, that do actual structural damage. You can run over zombies unlike previous vehicles. The mini bike where you ran into a zombie and it just bounced off of it. Now you can actually mow them down, which I haven't seen any over here yet to run over. But anyway, well, there's one. And we missed. Gotcha. You getting back up? I'm just going to park it on top of it. There you go. Alright, so let's move on to some of the other things that have changed in this version. We also have a standard bicycle. Looks like a little mountain bike here, and it uses your stamina up as you pedal. So as you're going along here, you see your kind of stamina uses there. If you want to try and go faster, it'll make your stamina go down more. So just like you would expect with a bicycle here. So, I'm assuming this will probably be pretty easy to get, an early level vehicle. I don't know for certain if this has any storage on it or not. Let's see if it does. I think you probably have to put some sort of basket on it first in order to that. But yeah, it does have a little bit of storage up here. Nothing huge since it doesn't actually have a bicycle, or it doesn't have a basket on there, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, this is the standard bicycle. Looks like a 10-speed. And here we have the Harley style bike, this amped up, actual motorcycle here. It's got spikes on the front of it. It's a pretty beastly bike, way better than the original mini bike here. This one's actually got some pretty good handling here, and having the spikes on the front of it's definitely kind of cool too. But this is what the actual normal bike looks like now, so that's pretty cool. And you see here, we do actually have the Gyrocopter. It was always rumored for a while that it may or may not actually come in. I'm still trying to learn how to fly this bad boy here. It's a little bit on the wonky side of things, but, this is, just part of it or whatever. Okay, we're going to go back down and crash here. A little hard to fly. I'm hoping they kind of level this off a little bit here, but it's definitely kind of cool that you can, have a flying vehicle now. See if we can get this bad boy airborne. All right, we are up in the air. Let's see if we can not hit a tree. But it looks like this is going to be just, one of those single-player style things. It'd be nice if you could get your friends to be able to, stand on the, the bottom base down there or hang on to it and you could drag them around the world or whatever. But at least we have an actual flying vehicle. Now, I'm going to be curious as to whether or not the rotors actually do damage to zombies and entities, because I can already think of a bunch of traps I'd like to do using this particular vehicle. So, at least we have the Gyrocopter now. And that's pretty cool. I was kind of hoping they were going to be able to get it into this game, and it was kind of touch and go whether they would or not. So that's pretty awesome. So you can see here they changed the layout of the way the menu screen for your specific character here. You got a little bit more information here, but in your backpack you now actually have more total slots, but you can see the bottom 3 rows are locked. And in order to be able to get those, what you have to do is you have to find the pack mule stat, and then you go through and unlock it as you do here. Then you can carry 4, 5, 6, 6, 6 and more. You unlock them, so eventually you can get the entire inventory there. Now, what it means is you can carry this as many items as you want to, but once you start getting items down into this spot, it starts making you go slower. You are over encumbered, like any other kind of game where you have a weight limit there. Fortunately, it doesn't have a weight for specific items, so it's not like you're, okay, I got to get rid of my lightweight items here. It's just total quantity. So if you had something that was down in this spot, and then you try to move in the over encumbered spot with the rest of it full, it would make you move a lot slower. So that's how you end up having to unlock the rest of the back backpack down here. Not 100% sure I like that necessarily. Definitely going to add to the challenge of the game, but you know, that's just one of the things that they specifically changed here. So do keep that in mind, that you're going to start off with a lot less inventory space. And something else they changed was the way the skill tree is actually done. It's broken down by attributes. You got strength, you go down here, you got fortitude, agility, intellect, and under each one of these different kinds of skill trees, basically, this is where you get individuals. You get your marksman perks, these are for guns. You got your scavenger perks, this is for looting and whatever. So it's a little bit better organized than it used to be, at least in my opinion. So it's a little easier to figure out what you want to do, and you can level up that specific stat, and then you get to see all the different things that go with it. Increases your max stamina, your max, whatever you're actually, your stealth perks. And so they changed up a lot of the way that works. And that's also something they changed in the system here, is they added a stealth meter. When you go into crouch mode, you can see over in the bottom left-hand corner, you got the little eyeball. The more the meter fills up, the easier it is for zombies to see. So when you're sitting perfectly still, right now I'm sitting at a 35, because I'm in the middle of the daylight here, the sun's right above me. There's nothing around me right at the moment, but you can see I'm moving, it's going up a little bit. If you try and move a little faster, like you're crouch walking fast, you can see it's jumping up some more here. You start making some noise, so you just... Now it jumps up to 100, so if there's anything around, of course, they're going to see you. So this is how they redid the stealth system here. So if you're trying to ease up on a sleeper inside of a building, you'll know that, hey, I got to keep an eye on this little eyeball here. So even just barely moving while crouching moves it up a little bit. And of course, the more light there is, the easier they're going to see you. The more noise you make, there's going to be able to see you. If you're like carrying a flashlight or a mining helmet or anything like that you normally would be wearing, then they'll obviously be able to see you a little easier too. So that is the way they changed up the stealth system here. They completely redid the way that was done. And also something they changed up in this game is how the temperature works for your character. Used to trying to find the best way to prevent yourself from getting overheated or too cold, you had to keep swapping out different clothes, depending which biome you went to. Now each set of clothing in the game has been completely redone. They each have their own ability to protect against hypothermal and hyperthermal, so getting too cold or too hot. So I can see just basic blue jeans I'm working here. It's got a hypothermal as a 6 and hyperthermal as 4, so it at least helps out. Everything has a unit that can actually help out with it. See, right here, these boots don't help out at all, but the shirt helps out a little bit more, and if I was wearing a coat, it would help out as more too. So that's something they changed, and that's something that we'll have to keep in mind too, is usually it's like, okay, I'm going to the desert, I need to make sure I have a cowboy hat, poncho, a little t-shirt or something to help get the thermal down a little bit. Now you can, every bit of clothing has a potential to help you out at least a little bit. You don't have to try and keep a massive supply of clothes on you to be able to keep your temperature down. And they've changed up the way that things work with the traders. You actually have a questing system now. So when you click on him and say, hey, can I see your inventory? Do you have any jobs? And he'll tell you the different things that you have, like a tier 1, a tier 2. They're all tier 1s right at the moment, but as you get going up there, they're a little bit harder to do, a little bit further away. Sometimes you have fetch quests. Sometimes you got to go dig up some stuff. Sometimes you got to go clear a house out of some zombies. And so when you do this, it will pop up on your map. Just something that's kind of cool. They've been working for a long time to be able to get a nice little questing system. And you can see I got the little exclamation point here. Let's see, where is it going to want me to go? See, I got to go like all the way down here, a long ways from where I'm at. So this is definitely going to be one of those that is going to take some time to do these quests. So that's definitely something cool. We finally got some questing there, give you something to do if you get a little bit bored. Surviving is no longer a challenge. You can head over to the any of the traders. Another one of the major things they did in this game is that they redid away most of the POIs look. I'm flying through Dyersville right now, and you can see that not all the houses are the same cookie cutter houses they used to be. They've actually got a little bit more dilapidation to them. They all have kind of a unique style to them here. So you're going to get some repeats, of course, in structure and style, but they all have a little bit better look to them here. And you can see over here where the hospital is, the little poppin' pills hospital, they completely redesigned this, so it's a completely different look than the way it used to be. A lot more trees over here than they used to be. It's just, they have completely revamped it, and they added over 700 new different textures and blocks in the game here. So for doing things like the house flippers and repairing things and building things, you're trying to build your own base or whatever, you got all kinds of different stuff that you can add into it now versus the way it used to be here. And the way they redid a lot of these houses and stuff too is it's not just necessarily, oh, I need to beat in the front door and try and make my way in. You'll see they kind of have this little bit of a dungeon style to them. You have these little flashlights pointing at them where where you can figure out where you need to try and go, but then you end up running into stuff like that where the whole floor was trapped to begin with, and so now then you have to be able to get your way out. So that's a pitfall you'll have to deal with when you're working in some of these houses, is that, you know, they are actually trapped a little bit here. So, you know, that's going to take a little bit of time to get used to the new system. Of course, you still can't crouch underneath these sort of things, but once you get inside the houses, you'll see that they look a lot different than they used to. How it's incredible how much they've changed on these. Just the layout, the textures inside the houses, the furniture looks a little differently. You know, it's a whole different animal than it used to be. So now there's a bunch of, you know, sleepers spawning, and they supposedly, and I haven't got a whole lot of time to work with it yet, but they supposedly did a lot of work on fixing the way the sleepers spawn in, so they don't just randomly show up while you're already in the house. They kind of spawn in when they're supposed to, and no more of that snapping next to you. But you see, I'm just kind of waking my way through one of the houses here. You see certain things are boarded up a little differently. They've changed the way things look in the game, and I think it's a pretty good change myself. I really like the way it looks. I like the way that they've kind of gone with a new change in direction here, and we're going to go ahead and die in our very first house because, yeah, things are going absolutely bad. Big Mama and her group is here. These sleepers are wrecking us. You can see we have all kinds of negative effects, and so our screen started changing differently than it looked to, start getting more and more blurry. That's one of the effects you have too. So I don't necessarily care that I died. I just wanted to show you what it looked like inside the houses. But it looks really cool. This is going to give us a whole lot more room to explore inside these houses. It's not going to be just okay, well, I know the layout of the house. I know where every single thing's at. It's a little bit different every time you go inside. So that's pretty awesome. You can see they've changed up the main menu system here, so it has a little bit of a different look to it, different music. When you go into and you're creating a new world, you can choose between different kind of options here, a little differently than it used to. Now it's more of a tabbed advancement through here, so it's not the same old system that it used to be. But this gives you a little bit more options, and you can see now Navezgane is, you know, much bigger than it used to be by the default. So they've definitely changed a lot of settings back in here and just kind of changed up the way it looks, so you can actually kind of get through a little easier. Instead of having these huge scrolling boxes, you can kind of skip through it a little easier with just the tabs. And the last thing I really wanted to talk about that they changed a lot in this game as we're cruising around here is they redid the zombie AI. All the pathfinding's been changed. They've completely overhauled the system, which kind of makes me wonder, like, did they watch some of my old videos on how the zombies make it through mazes and whatnot and decided, you know what, we need to go ahead and change this because Cap has shown exactly how to work against this system here. So, you know, I'm going to assume that's what they did, of course, you know. But that is going to allow me to redo a whole lot of previous tests that I've done there on the zombie pathing, through, you know, how they handle fall damage and how they handle going through mazes and how they get in and out of houses. And now, you know, if they get to a spot where they can't get to the player, they go into destroy mode where they'll just absolutely decimate a base trying to get to you versus trying to just go back and forth and running into a wall. And so all that stuff I'm going to go into in a lot more in depth in future videos. But that brings it back to something I want to ask you guys before we get to this video is, you know, what things do you want to see me do here? This is a good place to start compiling a list of tutorials of things you want me to see. Not just, oh, hey, Cap, I want you to do some myth busting stuff. But if there's things like, I want you to show me how this works in the game. Leave those comments down below, and I'm going to keep the running list like I always do. I'm going to have a ton of stuff to show you that I already know of. But of course, getting you guys feedback on everything here is awesome too. That's where I get a lot of the ideas for videos I take. We're gonna make it over this fence, by God. There we go. So keep those ideas coming, and we're just going to have a pretty good fun time with this here. But I'm going to have more videos up over the weekend. I'll probably have one up Sunday morning, and of course then one on Monday morning as well, going into more depth some of this stuff here. But this was just kind of an overview video to kind of show you guys some of the stuff that was done with it. I'm really excited, and hope you guys are too. You know, if you have any general questions that I can answer that's not an entire video topic, you know, you can leave those down there as well. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button down below. And again, be sure to subscribe if you're not on already, so you don't miss out on the future videos, because we have a whole lot of content coming. It's going to be a fun time. Alpha 17 is going to bring us a ton. So in the meantime, thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you later.